All right, today we're putting on our detective hats to crack a case that millions of people experience, the wandering eye. Let's dig into the surprisingly deep investigation behind a condition called strabismus.
The first clue in the case file is almost always something you can just see. A parent might notice their kid's eye drifting off, or maybe an adult sees it themselves in the mirror. And that one little observation, that's the call that kicks off the entire investigation. And this, right here, is the central mystery. What's the deal? Is this just a simple muscle thing that's been around forever? Or is it a brand new warning light, a signal coming from the brain itself? The answer to that question changes everything. Now here's what's so fascinating. You might think the first step is some high-tech MRI or a fancy scan, right? Nope. The most powerful tool in this entire investigation is just the patient's story. It all starts with a simple conversation. Okay, before we go any further, let's get our terms straight so we're all on the same page. The official name for this is strabismus. You've probably heard it called a squint or being cross-eyed. All it really means is that the eyes aren't working together as a team. Simple as that. Now that we've got that down, the real detective work can begin.
So, phase one of our investigation is all about the here and now. We're zeroing in on the specifics of the complaint itself, gathering those first crucial clues that are going to guide this entire inquiry.
And the very first question, right out of the gate, is always about the timeline. When did you first notice this? This one question is like a fork in the road, and the answer sends our investigation down one of two completely different paths. Think about it. If the eye turn has been there since they were a baby, well, it's probably a congenital issue. But if it just shows up, bam, out of nowhere in an adult, whoa, that's a huge potential red flag for something neurological. So yeah, the timing really does change everything. Okay, next up, the detective needs to know about frequency. Is that eye turned all the time? Is it constant? Or does it kind of come and go? Is it intermittent? Maybe it only shows up when the person is really tired or sick. That pattern gives us huge clues about how stable the muscle control is. Here's another key question. Is it always the same eye that wanders, or does it switch back and forth? An alternating squint is a really interesting clue. It often means both eyes are getting a chance to see properly, which makes it way less likely for a lazy eye or amblyopia to develop. So we've got the basic profile of our main suspect, the squint itself. Now our detective widens the search. They're looking for accomplices, any other symptoms hanging around that can reveal a much bigger plot. Some of the best clues aren't things people say, they're things people do. For example, is the person seeing double? Or have you noticed they kind of tilt or turn their head in a very specific way? That's not random. That's their brains subconsciously trying to fuse the two images together to get one clear picture. And if there is double vision, the technical term is diplopia, our detective needs details. Are the images side by side? That's horizontal. Or is one on top of the other? That's vertical. The direction of that double vision can help pinpoint exactly which nerve or muscle isn't pulling its weight. Now, some symptoms are more than just clues. They are blaring alarm bells. If you've got nausea, vomiting, or trouble walking showing up alongside the eye turn, the case just got escalated. These are major red flags that point away from a simple eye problem and towards a serious issue in the brain. All right, with the immediate clues gathered, our investigation moves to the archives. To really understand what's happening now, the detective has to do a deep dive into the past, looking for patterns and hidden connections in the patient's full history. And this background check is super methodical. For a kid, you start with their birth history. Were they premature? Then you look at any past eye injuries or problems. After that, you check their general health. And finally, you search the family tree. Does anyone else have this? Every single step can hold a critical piece of the puzzle. The investigation also has to look at the body as a whole. You see, some conditions that seem totally unrelated, like thyroid disease or diabetes, can actually be the main culprit. They can directly mess with the delicate muscles that control the eyes. A problem somewhere else in the body can absolutely show up first as a problem with your vision. And here is my absolute favorite low-tech detective trick in this whole process: looking through old family photo albums. I'm serious. By flipping through pictures from childhood, a doctor can often pinpoint the exact moment the squint first appeared and see how it's changed over time. It creates a perfect timeline without any fancy equipment at all. Okay, we've gathered all the evidence.
We've got the timeline, we've found the accomplices, and we've done the full background check. Now it is time for the final act, putting all these clues together to solve the case once and for all. And this is really where it all comes together. By carefully assembling every single piece of that history, from the age it started, to what the family photos show, to whether there's double vision, the doctor can finally build the complete picture. And that's how they can confidently tell the difference between a harmless, lifelong strabismus and one that's a warning sign for something much more urgent. That initial conversation is what leads to the final diagnosis. So it really leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? This whole process just goes to show you that the questions a doctor asks are never just small talk. Every single one is a tool designed to uncover a deeper story. It makes you wonder, what hidden clues does your own story hold?